Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. This afternoon, I'm joined by Joanne Callahan, who's a sleep expert, also an author and a speaker on sleep and health and wellness in general. How are you doing this afternoon, Joanne? You okay?
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Even though it's raining outside, for sure, it's great to walk in the rain, which I'll be
Yeah,
doing after this.
good. You've got to keep your exercise in, whether the weather's good or not.
And the fresh air. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Something I've been doing a lot more recently, especially since lockdown, is getting out and making sure I exercise every day, even though the weather don't always have to be good, although it's been pretty good most of the time.
Absolutely. And you know what? When you take breaks like that and get out into nature, you end up being more productive and you sleep better at night as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you get that
Yeah,
fresh air, don't you? Which zonks you out, especially if you're busy doing actions all day and activity all day. Then the
yeah,
combination of the fresh air and the activity keeps you, in good sleep.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us. Obviously, I introduced you as a sleep expert, and you're an author and speaker on the subject. What sort of turned you into a sleep expert, and what happened in the background, if you like, for you to get to where you are now?
Well, let me see. So I was always interested in health and well-being, and aromatherapy was actually one of my first entries into the health and wellness, if you like. I loved oils. I was always burning them around the house. But really, I used to work as an IT programmer, believe it or not. I used to do websites and I used to do a lot of work on databases, Oracle and SQL and all of that, if anyone knows what that is. But and VBE, that was a big one as well. So loved it, absolutely loved it. But I was working in this company for 17 years and I decided to pack it in. And what happened there was we decided, my husband and I decided to have a baby. So I got pregnant, and now this baby was really special. I wanted this whole pregnancy to be perfect and really wanted to mind myself because when I was 16, I was abused and had a baby very young, and that wasn't ideal. So I was obviously nervous about having a baby. So this decision, it took a while for me to be agreeable, because I was like, I'm not a baby making machine and all of this. So gave up the job, bought a house in a Thai, all of that. But she was due on the 7th of December. And when the 7th of December came, she died. She died right on the day that she was due. So obviously there was a whole process around all that. There was everything that comes with, you know, grief and anger and all those processes. But over the next 3 years, what I discovered, I went through this whole process of hating children, hating anyone who had a child. It was just a resentment, because they had what I didn't have and all of that. But it grew really intense. And I found this spiritual lady. I was praying for help. I didn't know what it was that I was looking for exactly. But this lady came into my life and she taught me how to love myself again. She taught me, coming from the heart, coming from gratitude, being grateful for everything that we have in our lives. She taught me forgiveness, which is a massive thing, because we're all always giving out about ourselves and putting ourselves down and making ourselves not good enough, and the language that we use when we're speaking about ourselves. So I got to see all of this stuff, and really what I got to see was how powerful our minds are and how powerful we are as individuals, that we can take control of our lives simply by the thoughts we're having in our head. And that was my first step. I enrolled into massage classes and Reiki, reflexology, all those holistic therapies. And from there, I met Pat Slattery, who was my mentor for 2 years or so. And he said, Joanne, you got to write a book. And I was like, what am I going to write a book on? And I went back to all the consultation forms of taking in the clients. And I realized that an awful lot of my clients were having difficulty sleeping. They were exhausted during the daytime. And, they just didn't have the energy. So that's when I decided I'm going to write a book on sleep. And when I wrote the book on sleep, the research that I found it was just unbelievable. It was so profound. And I wanted people to know this information, because I think there's a massive lack of understanding and a lack of awareness of how important sleep is for our health, for our overall health, and how it combines into all the other pillars of health, like nutrition and exercise. They're all very important as well. But sleep we can't survive without sleep, and it's vital. It's not a luxury. So that's what brought me onto the whole health and wellness path and the power of our mind and sleep as well. So that's why I'm here today, Mike. Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And I myself, I've been blessed, really. I've always had good night's sleeps, 7, 8 hours. Never need more than that, generally. And I can get up and work on 4, 5, or 6, but then I'll have a catch up the following night and that'll be 10 or 12 or whatever, and I'm fine again. So I'm somebody who's understood just the importance of sleep. I'm high energy and I use a lot of that energy and I'm constantly doing stuff. And so I think, if you burn your energy off, you need to recharge it with a good night's sleep, and it's ready to go again the next day.
That's exactly what it is. Like when we're sleeping at nighttime, we're recharging our batteries. It's like rebooting a machine, a computer. You can have too many apps running, and it can overload your machine. And what you do, you just reboot it, and it regenerates. And when we're sleeping at night, and especially for the brain as well, regenerating the brain and clearing that brain out. And there was an interesting study done in the last number of years, only the last 15, 20 years, science has really been studied, like really, really intensely been studied. And one of the things they found out about the brain was at nighttime, and it's the only time when we're in a deep phase of sleep, when we're unconscious, that the tissues in the brain actually shrink. They shrink by up to 60%. And this allows the cerebral spinal fluid. So this is just a clear fluid that goes through the brain, and it literally washes the brain out at nighttime. So we have these toxic proteins. We have lots of byproducts as part of our metabolism in the body. And beta amyloid is the one in the brain in particular that's toxic, and it clears all this out. And it has been shown in patients with Alzheimer's to have these clusters of this toxic protein. And one of the early signs of Alzheimer's is not being able to sleep during the nighttime, but also excessive daytime sleepiness as well. And obviously it's a build-up. It takes a couple of years, but it's one of the signs that's definitely there with all Alzheimer's patients. So that's an interesting study when it comes to the brain as well. But there's so many different processes that happen at nighttime in the body when we're asleep, and it's just incredible. It really is incredible.
Yeah, brilliant. And luckily, like I said, I've not really suffered with a lot of problems that have caused sleep, but I'm aware that lots of people do, So what are the main reasons why people do struggle with their sleep? And I can lead on then to what things they can do about that.
Well, interestingly, at the moment with the recent virus outbreak, there's a couple of things going on there. So stress and anxiety is probably the number one, and there's a lot of things that can come under that umbrella. So a lot of people are worried at the moment. They're uncertain of their future. So there's a lot of speculation, fear. There's so much fear at the moment, and this uncertainty, not knowing what's going, increasing our fight or flight system response, this nervous system. And when we have too much of that going on in the body, it's going to interfere with our patterns, our daily rhythms and our daily patterns, and also the process of winding down before we go to sleep at nighttime. This is a really important process, and it's a natural process, but all the stress and fear and anxiety is really getting in the way of us being able to wind down, which has an effect on how we're sleeping during the nighttime as well, and staying asleep during the nighttime. So many people would have difficulty going to sleep. So what I find is, I actually done a recent survey, and it was very interesting. And I said, what's the number one thing or problem that you have when it comes to sleeping? And 56% of the people said it's when they put their head down on the pillow that all the thoughts and worries come into their head right when they're just about to go to sleep. Like, talk about an inconvenient time. And really what's happening there is we are so busy during the daytime. We are so distracted with things, and we're amusing ourselves with things that aren't important, that it's distracting us from what's really important and what really matters to us. And then all the worries and anxieties, they're all coming to us at nighttime when we're alone with our thoughts, if you like. So there's many reasons why we would have difficulty sleeping, getting asleep at night, and staying asleep during the nighttime. But that's probably the number one. So what I say to people is, you really need to manage your stress during the daytime and start your morning off well. Because if you start your morning off well, then you're going to win the day, and you're going to have success when it comes to sleeping at nighttime. So I think anxiety and stress is probably the number one reason why people are having difficulty sleeping at nighttime.
Yeah, great. And I know another one can be sometimes having to get up to use the loo, so having interrupted sleep and that sort of thing. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
experiencing actually a little bit of that at the moment because I'm on a 75-day challenge, which includes drinking a gallon of water a day.
All right, okay.
So that's actually, I've always slept for 7, 8 hours, never been interrupted all my life because I'm drinking way more than I usually do, drinking a gallon of water every day. I'm 30 days in. That is, I suppose, because I'm not drinking consistently through the day, I'm having to catch up sometimes at the night time, leaving it a bit too
Ah,
late. So
yeah,
probably
yeah.
too much information there, but yeah, there are reasons like that as well, which can cause
It's a
people
common
to,
one. It's a common one. And really, I suppose the obvious thing would be don't drink so much water, 3 to 4 hours before going to bedtime.
yes,
Would
yeah,
be
yeah,
would be so drink most of your water, and drinking water first thing in the morning is vitally important, because we could be dehydrated waking up in the morning, because if you think about it, during the nighttime you're breathing constantly and you're not hydrating during the nighttime, but your body is still working. So hydrating first thing in the morning is really, really vital to it for a good start to your day. And I like to say to people, add some lemon juice in there as well, because that helps to detoxify, and it gets the digestive juices going and wakes everything up in your body basically. So yeah, hydrating first thing in the morning is really important too. Yeah.
yeah. Good, 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 good. So obviously you're now an author and a speaker,
Mm.
particularly on sleep, but also on the wider sort of health and wellness subject matter, if you like. How's that going for you? How's it been during the lockdown period? What are the plans there? That sort of thing.
Yeah, so yeah, I decided I actually have a new podcast that I have run. It's called Empowering Family Health, and I've decided to bring in all other areas of health in there in combination with sleep, and I'm having other experts come on as well, and doctors and health professionals, because how we eat during the daytime, how we're exercising, all contributes, because the foods that we're eating, and people have problems with weight gain as well, and sleep has a massive impact on helping you lose weight, believe it or not. And really it all comes down to not just what you're eating, but also the timing of when you're eating as well, and what types of food that you're eating closer to the evening time. So protein is the best type of food to eat first thing in the morning, like eggs and stuff like that, because they're your building blocks, if you like, for all your cells. And then not too many carbohydrates, especially the refined carbohydrates, for your dinner, because they convert quickly into glucose. And blood sugar is an issue with people waking up during the night time. So that's another issue. So all the other health pillars do have an impact. Exercise, for example, there's a lot of people that I know who are desperate to get a good night's sleep, and they will go on a 5K run at 8 o'clock in the evening time. And that's the worst thing that you can do, because you're increasing your adrenaline, which is just your fight or flight. It's a stress response. But also, probably the most important is your core body temperature is being increased. So right from the inside, and when you do strenuous exercises like that, it takes 3 to 4 hours for your body temperature to cool down. So why is this significant? Well, when we're going to sleep at nighttime, when we're winding down, there's certain criteria or conditions in the body that's required before the onset of sleep. And one of them is your core body temperature that has to reduce. So if you're exercising strenuously and the core body temperature is high, it's going to have an impact on you falling asleep at nighttime. So all these other health pillars are really, really important. And, I want to bring other experts in on these.
Well, it looks like we've lost Joanne Callahan for a moment. Hopefully she'll come back again soon.
Tired, it's usually your immune system needs a boost, or it's trying to heal and repair. If you have a cold or a flu, you'll find that you're more tired. So the body is trying to tell you to rest, to recover. And what was the other thing I was going to say? With the pain. So if you feel pain in your body, that's your body giving you signals to stop doing what you're doing before you cause any more injury. So the body is really, really intelligent, and we have to start listening to our body instead of taking painkillers to numb us so we can continue on. It's doing it for a reason, and really if we respect our bodies, and it's in all our, even mental health, what we're saying, the language that we're using. A lot of people say things like, I'll sleep when I'm dead, or I don't have time for sleep. So you're confirming that to yourself, to your subconscious, believe it or not. And therefore, your body is just keep going. And if you're going to bed with loads of things that you have to do. Some people wake up very early in the morning, and one of those reasons could be with the subconscious is you're waking up early in the morning, 5 o'clock or whatever, and you've got loads of things. Your body is saying to you, get up, you've loads of things to do, get up and start your day. So, so really, like, don't underestimate the power of your body and your mind. And it's all combined, everything that you do every day and how you're living your day from the morning time right to your sleep actually starts from the time that you wake up in the morning time, because it's your whole attitude and how you're living your day will have an impact on how you're sleeping at night time. So it's everything. It's just incredible. So that's what I'm up to now over the next few weeks. I've just started that podcast, and it's something that I've launched during this whole crisis, because I've identified that, with all this anxiety and fear and, how we're thinking, it's absolutely massive. So I decided to take the whole lot in together and, really helping to empower families to, be the best that they can be for themselves, not only just as parents, but children as well, because children learn from their parents. They learn from what their parents are doing, not necessarily what their parents are telling them to do, because children don't listen to you when you tell them what to do. they learn from your behaviors. So you have to walk the talk, really, and that's the most powerful way that you can influence your children. And, our children deserve to have a happy and healthy childhood. And there's so many children now with chronic diseases and all sorts in the last 10, 20 years that have evolved, and the numbers are increasing and increasing. So, it's everything. It's everything together, and your attitude as well is absolutely massive. So yeah, so that's what I'm up to.
Brilliant. So, and obviously, yeah, you just started the podcast. Before that, you wrote the book. What's the book called, and how do people get it?
Yeah, so the book is called How to Get a Good Night's Sleep, and they can get it on howtogetagoodnightsleep.com, and it's in some bookshops, but it's also on Amazon as well. So you'll get it on Amazon. So it's available in ebook and the hardback, obviously, and also in audio. So I actually recorded the audio during the lockdown. So that's something else that I did. So yeah, so howtogetagoodnightsleep.com and Amazon as well. It's on Amazon.
Okay, good. And I know you were doing some sleep courses or webinars and that sort of thing. Are they still running, or?
Yeah, so I have a lot of DIY courses, so self-paced courses that you can get. And one that I did during this whole pandemic was sleep and the immune system. It's called Boost Your Immune System with Better Sleep. And, there's so much that goes on in the body at nighttime, and the immune system is one of them, because and that's available on JoanneCallahan.com. You'll see that there, JoanneCallahan.com. But really what's going on with the immune system is obviously fear. I touched on that is a massive part of it. But our immune system really regenerates and builds during the nighttime when we're sleeping. That's why if you have a cold or flu, you tend to feel more tired. It's because the body wants you to go to sleep or rest to enable that healing process. Because we're only ever in one of two states at any time. This is the nervous system. So we're either in the fight or flight response, or we're in the rest and digest. And it's only when we're in this resting state when all this healing, repairing is done. And really, when we're in this fight or flight, always busy, always on the go, rushing, saying things like, I don't have time for sleep, you're dampening down not only your immune system, your digestive system and your reproductive system as well, because they're not vital organs or systems when you're trying to run away from a tiger. And that's effectively what your fight or flight response is doing. It's giving you the same responses, whether it's you're stuck in traffic or it's an angry boss. It's giving you the same response as if you were running away from a tiger. And that's effectively what your body is trying to protect you from. So at nighttime, when we're resting, our antibodies, which is a massive part of our immune system, they're actually made during the nighttime, and it's when we're in a deep phase of sleep. So quality sleep is really important. People, they might have their 8 hours of sleep, but they're still waking up really tired. And that's because they're not entering into the deep phase of sleep efficiently. They're probably just light sleeping or been interrupted, having very
Looks like we lost the signal again with Joanne Callahan, the sleep expert. Hopefully she'll be coming back soon. I'm not sure if you can hear me, Joanne, or not, but I've lost you for the moment. think it might be a Wi-Fi freeze. Apologies, guys, for those listening. A bit of a pause in the transmission. Hopefully, Joanne will be able to join us, resume a conversation sometime soon. Oh, we lost her altogether now. We'll just have a quick pause just to see if Joanne comes back. If she does, I'll resume the call and we can pick up where we left off. Hello, everyone, and we're back. Carry on, Joanne Callahan.
Yeah, so we were talking about the courses that I had running. So I have the DIY, as I said, courses. It's called Boost Your Immune System with Better Sleep. And this course really is all about the impact of sleep on the immune system. And, you know, really the immune system is a vital part of our sleep because it's the only time when the immune system is building up at nighttime when we're fast asleep. You know, we're ever only in one of two states at any time. We're either in the fight or flight or the rest and digest. And, you know, during the daytime when we're busy and, you know, we're constantly in a state of fight or flight with all the busyness and everything that we have to do. And this stuff we're saying, I don't have time for sleep, or, you know, where's the time going by? And everything seems to be going fast and everything seems to be busy for people. And when we're in this constant state of fight or flight, there's no time for healing and repairing. And you may find if you have a cold or something like that, you'd be more tired than normal. And this is your body trying to tell you to rest and to slow down. So your body is really, really intelligent. And, or even if you're in pain or anything like that, as I said before. But in this course, I talk about the immune system and why sleep has an impact on it. And really at nighttime, when we're in this rest and digest state, this relaxing state, and it's when we're in this deep phase of sleep, which is really where all the healing repairing is done. The growth hormone is released, and this has an impact on, you know, all the healing processes and even weight loss as well. So this is where the weight loss comes in with the hormonal response as a result of this. And really our antibodies are made only in this deep phase of sleep. So a lot of people would have very fragmented sleep. They may have, you know, 8 hours of sleep, but they still may wake up tired. And this is because they're getting they're getting quantity sleep, but they're not getting quality sleep. So quality sleep is where we're in this deep phase of sleep, real delta wave, slow wave sleep. And this is absolutely vital that we have a certain amount, and really 25% of our total sleep time during the nighttime is deep sleep. So we absolutely need this. This is where all the healing repair, as I said, is done. But I talk about all that. It's a 7-day course. It's like a mini course. So it will give you a good idea of what's involved in the whole sleep process. So that's what I have there at the moment. So if you look out for, am I gone again?
No.
Are you there?
You're still with us.
I thought I was gone. We're having very bad weather here at the moment. And it's probably interfering with the internet. But that's really, that's the course. It's called Boost Your Immune System with Better Sleep. And it's a really good one. And I've got loads of other courses coming out. I'm going to have one in particular on weight loss as well, which is going to be really looking at all the hormones, how we can eat and how that impacts on sleep. Hormonal production as well. So there's a lot of women with menopause issues, a lot of people with, you know, these night sweats, which is interfering with sleep as well. Sleep apnea is another very big one, the snoring and sleep apnea. So there's loads of different topics that you can go into, but that one in particular now is on the immune system, which is really because the body really needs to protect itself to live well and really be functional optimally. So it's a really important part of our health.
Brilliant. And obviously a lot of entrepreneurs listen to my episodes, and I have a lot of entrepreneurs on, etc., including yourself. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs, quite a lot of them say, 5 hours is enough, if you like. And, why do I want to only have, 16 hours a day when I can have, 18 hours a day or whatever, be more productive?
Get more work done.
What would you say to that? What would be your response to that?
The more rest that you take, and it's a balance. It's a balance. The more rest that you take, I find personally, and it's true, and science shows this as well, the more rest that you take, the more productive you are. And it seems counterintuitive, but it's true. Like you're supposed to take regular breaks. What I do if I'm working on a computer or whatever, I come away from the computer, maybe just for a minute or two until I have a bigger break. But it's that break and not consistently looking at your computer or doing whatever it is that you're doing. And when you're taking a break, I don't mean necessarily going for a nap. It could be just sitting down reading a book. It could be going for a walk. It could be having a cup of tea and just reflecting. That's resting. So resting is really, really important. As I said, during the lockdown, I started doing longer and longer walks, and I found myself more productive. There has been studies that show if you sleep 5 hours or less, your immune system is, and this is Matthew Walker, who's a sleep specialist and scientist, and he showed that your immune system is suppressed by up to 70%, which is massive, absolutely massive. So it obviously depends on where you are with your immune system for, you know, to have that massive effect, but up to 70%. And it has been shown in studies, you know, your antibodies are reduced and all of that. And also it's been shown as well with the less sleep that you have, you know, the growth hormone and the heal and repair, and less of that is done. But it has been shown, and I say to people, you know, they say, oh, I get by in 5 hours. Try and just do an extra hour and see how much better you feel. And it has been shown in science that, you know, you're more productive and everything in your body is better as a result of getting more sleep. Your weight loss is improved, your mood, everything, cognitive function, everything is increased the more sleep that you have. Now, you can't sleep too much too, that's just as bad. So there's a balance, and it's all individual. So some people may get by on 6.5 hours of sleep. Some people may need 8 hours, and I'm talking about adults here just because ages have different sleep requirements. So let's just say we're talking about adults here. So some people may find they need 8 hours sleep. Some people may find they get by in 6.5 or 7 hours sleep, and that's fine. It's very individual. So it's up to us as individuals to find out what that is that we actually require. So that's a really important thing as well. So I'm really, you know, about empowering people to find out what that sweet spot is for you.
Brilliant, brilliant. And the other thing I've noticed as well, just in general, is females tend to sleep longer than males. Is that, you know, scientifically fact? That's just in my experience, but is that a fact?
Yeah. And especially during, you know, the middle years as well, because women do have a lot more hormonal fluctuations going on as well. So there's a lot going on there, and that's one of the reasons why. But yeah, men tend to, they don't need as much as the women. But, you know, we have this cycle, the circadian rhythm cycle, this 24-hour biological process, and we all have that going on. We have, you know, body temperature, daytime hormones, nighttime hormones, all and the digestive process, all that stuff going on, right? And it's the same for both men and women, right? But with the women, we also have the monthly cycle as well, which impacts our sleep at nighttime. So depending on where, you know, during the cycle, during that 28 days or whatever, so it will have an impact on you sleeping more or sleeping less. And then the night, if you're going through menopause, you're going to have those night things as well going on, and that's going to cause fragmented sleep as well, which is going to leave you more tired as well. So, and out of balance, and when you're out of balance, that causes problems too. So yeah, women do tend to sleep more than men, and it's not because we're lazy.
No, well, I would say it's probably because they do more. That might have an impact as well, you know, because women tend to juggle more jobs throughout the day than the men do, more focus on specific jobs, if you like, you know. So it could be a bit of that in there as well.
Yeah. I won't disagree with that.
And there's one other question I wanted to ask you about sleep, and then we'll wrap it up, I think. But the other one was, is napping in the day good or not, or does that depend on age and that sort of thing?
Yeah, okay. So I am a fan of napping. I am. But napping, you need to do your nap. Like between 1 and 3 o'clock is a natural dip in the day. This is the siesta in some countries, right? So as I said, I talked about the circadian rhythm. So between 1 and 3 is typically when the body slows down, the body temperature reduces as well. So this all fluctuates during the daytime, and that's the best time to take a nap. Don't take a nap too late in the afternoon because it will impact on your sleep drive. So your sleep drive, it's also called your sleep pressure. So this is the build up. So the longer you're awake, the more tired you're going to get. So that process combined with the circadian rhythm. So these are your daily rhythms, your routines, really important to stay in that routine. So those two processes, when they're aligned with each other, and we will create the sleep window in the evening time, which is the ideal time to go to sleep. So if you have naps too late in the evening time, it's going to impact on your sleep pressure. But naps can be a very good thing to do, because if you're overtired, it's going to have an impact on how well you sleep at night time as well. So sleeping earlier in the day, and maybe during that siesta time as well, but don't nap for any more than 30 minutes. If you nap more than 30 minutes, you're going into a deeper phase of sleep. And if you've ever woken up from a very deep sleep, you'll feel groggy and disorientated, and it takes ages to get going again. That's the worst time that you can wake up. So if you sleep for just 30 minutes, that will and wake up, that will be that will prevent you from going into that deep sleep, and it will refresh your mind and give you a little bit more energy and more productivity as well. So just 30 minutes. I wouldn't nap for any longer than that. Age wise, older people tend to nap more as well as they get older, and it's just a natural cycle of things. So again, earlier in the morning then, rather than late in the, that would apply to everybody. Don't nap in the evening time.
Okay, brilliant. All right then. Well, thanks a lot for coming onto my podcast and for sharing your wisdom on sleep and health and well-being. It's been great. So thanks a lot for coming on.
Brilliant, Mike. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for your time, and have a great day and sleep well.
Yeah, brilliant. And there's nothing else left for me to say other than have a great day. I know I will. And thanks very much for listening.